Hi, Bob Murnahan from LeadGuitarTactics.com here, and this is lick building block number 4. This is a series of lessons that I started, and if you haven't seen the previous lessons, seek those out and watch them in order. Each one builds on the previous, and what we've done so far in the first 3 is we've gotten 3 simple little ideas together that can be used as building blocks. I defined a building block in the first lesson as a series of small little ideas that we can put together to create longer licks. So let's do that now, and we're going to get a few more building blocks on down the road, but for now let's work with what we've got. So lick building block number 1 was the bending lick here. It's a real staple in all kinds of blues and rock. Lick building block number 2 was simply either a pull off on the on the second string, or the first string. And lick building block number 3 was either a bend from the 8th fret to the 10th fret on the second string, or a slide from the 8th fret to the 10th fret on the second string. So the first thing we could do is we could do our old traditional lick here that we've heard in all kinds of solos. Blues, as I mentioned, blues, rock. I always think of Jimmy Page when I hear this because of A Whole Lot of Love. Maybe I'll show you that lick in its entirety on down the road, but that's what it always reminds me of. So we're going to do that lick, building block number 1, and then we're going to put the pull off on the second string from the 8th fret down to the 5th fret on the back end of it. So we end up with this. And as you get comfortable, you certainly try to speed that up. Now that's just out of 2 simple ideas. The picking that I like to use on that is down, down, up, and then down on the pull off. So I got 3 downstrokes and 1 upstroke. Down, down, up, down, pull off. Now I mentioned you could do the pull off on the first string, so let's do that instead of the second string. Very similar type of idea. Starts to get into sort of like what I call rapid fire repeating licks, kind of like some Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of stuff, or again, you know, but Page comes to mind. A lot of people use these licks over and over again. Angus Young. So we can take these 2 string pull-off ideas and we can play those back to back. So I could go and then pull off on the first string, followed by the pull off on the second string. So you can see we've taken these 2 little building blocks and we're starting to get a lot out of them. I can reverse those pull-offs, and I can do the second string followed by the first string. And then my last building block was the bend or the slide from the 8th to the 10th. So I could simply tack that onto the end of the first building block that we had here. That makes a great intro for a blues solo, by the way. Especially if it's a slow blues tune. Now I could throw the pull off in between there, so the pull off on the second string. Notice how these building blocks were stacking them on top of each other and creating some licks, right? The pull off on the first string now creates another lick. Pull off from the first string to the second string and then the bend. Pull off from the second string to the first string followed by the bend. And we could also do the slide. Now, when would we want to use the slide? When we're trying to get out of box 1 and up into box 2. That'd be a great place to use the slide. And in fact, the next building block is going to be, or the next couple of building blocks are going to be a couple of ideas up here in box number 2. So you got that to look forward to. But one more time with the slide. Pull off with the slide. First string pull off with the slide. Pull off from the second string to the first string with the slide. Now, I also want to mention just quickly that you could start with the pull off on the second string and then do the first building block followed by the third building block, right? So you can mix the order up. Pull off on the first string, second string, building block number 1, building block number 3. Pull off from the second string to the first string, building block number 1, and the slide. All right, that's a lot that we've gotten out of just these 3 little simple building blocks that we've talked about so far. So have some fun playing with that. And in the next segment, I'm going to show you a building block that we can use in box number 2. Until then, practice, and I will see you in the next lesson soon.